Good morning, children. Today I am Mrs. Ghosh. Today I will be taking English literature class, and short story is Hearts and Hands for classes 9th and 10th. Hearts and Hands, written by O. Henry. William Sidney Potter was an American writer who wrote under the pen name O. Henry. His short stories are well known for their ready wit, gentle humor, and surprise ending. His story Hearts and Hands describes the chance encounter on a train between two acquaintances, Miss Fairchild and Mr. Easton. The situation turns awkward when Miss Fairchild notices that Easton is handcuffed to a grim-looking man. The man intervenes to save Easton from embarrassment and prevents the girl from discovering the truth about him. It is through the observations of their fellow passenger that the reader is made aware of the real nature of the relationship between the two men handcuffed to each other. Let us now understand the story. Miss Fairchild meets an old acquaintance, Mr. Easton, on a train. Mr. Easton's hand is handcuffed to another man. Miss Fairchild recognizes Mr. Easton. Story in detail. The matter will be read from the workbook. The title of the story. Hearts and Hands, the story relates to the theme of showing compassion and not judging people by their outer appearance. It is the handcuffs which are significant for revealing the true identities of the two men. Miss Fairchild was misled by the grim-faced man about the identity of Mr. Easton, as he wanted to save him from an embarrassing situation. He never wanted to reveal that Mr. Easton was a convict. Mr. Easton was a handsome, bold man who was actually the convict, and the rough, sad-looking man was the marshal. It is the hearts part of the title that explains the theme. The marshal was compassionate. He had a golden heart, so he told a lie to Miss Fairchild. He told Miss Fairchild that Mr. Easton was the marshal and he was the convict who was being taken to the prison. The author has titled the story Hearts and Hand because by having the lie about his hand being that of a convict, the marshal shows his heart for the convict and highlights the theme of compassion. The word hearts also indicates the kind of friendship that existed between Miss Fairchild and Mr. Easton. When Miss Fairchild saw Mr. Easton, there was a lovely smile on her face and her cheeks turned pink. But the moment she saw the handcuffs, she became pale and horrid. The themes of the story: compassion and appearances can be deceptive. Compassion in the story is portrayed through the ruffled, glum-faced marshal who did not let Easton reveal their true identities to Miss Fairchild to prevent him, that is Easton, from any kind of embarrassment. The marshal was a keen observer. He observed Mr. Easton's hesitation in recognizing Miss Fairchild and also Miss Fairchild's bewildered horror on seeing Easton being handcuffed. The marshal understood the gravity of the situation and saved Mr. Easton from the humiliation of being recognized as convict in front of an old friend. When the marshal and convict boarded the train, their physical appearances are described in such a way that it later misled not only Miss Fairchild but also the readers. Mr. Easton is described as one of the handsome presence with a bold, frank countenance and manners, while the other as ruffled, heavily built, roughly dressed and glum-faced. The real marshal tells Miss Fairchild that he is the convict who is being taken to prison by Mr. Easton, who is a marshal. It appears to be true. Miss Fairchild does not notice that it is Mr. Easton's right hand which is handcuffed. She believes that her old friend is indeed a marshal. Appearances deceive Miss Fairchild. People often jump to conclusions that aren't true and ignore about details. The story is set on a train, B&M Express. The entire action is confined to one of the coaches in the train. we are introduced to a young, beautiful, elegant dressed lady named Miss Fairchild. It is at the Denver station that the two other characters board the train. One of them is an old friend of Miss Fairchild. His name is Mr. Easton and he is a handsome young man. The other man with him is rough, fat and grim-faced. Throughout the story, the passengers have a light conversation. The story depicts a usual, unassuming atmosphere. The story is narrated in third person. The author builds up suspense. The lady in the story as well as the readers are led to view their two men as the narrator wanted to project them. The story Hearts and Hands is full of situational, verbal and dramatic. At the beginning of the story, when the two enter the train, there is mismatch between the appearances and the reality, which is revealed at the end of the story. Some dialogues from the story. The glum-faced man told Miss Fairchild, "He is taking me to Havenforth prison. It's 7 years for counterfeiting." The glum-faced man wants Miss Fairchild to assume that he has got 7 years of jail, whereas actually it is the handsome young man, Mr. Easton, who being taken to the prison. Mr. Easton told Miss Fairchild, "I had to do something." Mr. Easton did not want Miss Fairchild to understand what the something truly was. The glum-faced man said, "Mr. Easton knows his business." The business Mr. Easton knows is not the business of being a marshal but of being a prisoner. Mr. Easton said, "My butterfly days are over, I fear." Mr. Easton means that his freedom had been curtailed, but Miss Fairchild thinks that Mr. Easton was referring to his social days and assumes that since Mr. Easton had taken a job with the criminal justice system, he won't have freedom to do whatever he used to do earlier. Mr. Easton said, "I can't deny a petition for tobacco." Mr. Easton means to say that he can't deny a petition for tobacco from his companion, for he is a prisoner and under the command of companion who is actually a marshal. Miss Fairchild said, "Money isn't everything, but people always misunderstand things and remain stupid." Miss Fairchild says that people misunderstand things, whereas she herself does not understand who the prisoner is. Her statement that money isn't everything is also ironic, since it is the desire for money that is responsible for Mr. Easton's unpleasant situation. The story ends in an unexpected manner. One of the two passengers in the coach who had been listening to their conversation remarked that Mr. Easton appeared to be too young to be a marshal. The other eavesdropping passenger corrected him by saying that Mr. Easton was not the marshal and that the other man was actually the marshal, as no marshal would handcuff his right hand to the prisoner's hand. Assignment for class 9. Long answer question. Justify the statement that appearances can be deceptive with reference to the story Hearts and Hand. Read the story 4 to 5 times to understand it. Assignment for class 10. Long answer questions. People often jump to conclusions that aren't true. They ignore obvious details when the information is not appealing to them. How far are these statements applicable in the story Hearts and Hands? This is your revision lesson, so try to complete the reference to context questions. Extract 1 to 5. The questions that you find it difficult to answer, mark it and we will discuss it when the school reopens. But if you have any doubt, you may ask me. Story in detail. The story begins on a train to Denver. An elegantly dressed lady named Miss Fairchild was seated in one coach when two men arrived and took the seat facing her. It quickly became clear that the woman knew one of the men. She spoke to the man called Mr. Easton and was rather surprised to discover that he was handcuffed to the man seated beside him. As Easton greeted the young woman, he slightly raised his right hand, bound at the wrist by a shining bracelet to the left one of his companion. However, the man with Easton sensed Easton's embarrassment and volunteered to clear the doubt in Miss Fairchild's mind about the handcuffs and said that Easton was the marshal and he was the convict and they were headed to Leavenworth prison. It's 7 years for counterfeiting, Easton said. As the conversation continued, the woman was surprised to learn that Easton had given up his life in Washington to become a marshal in the West. The young woman kept on talking to her acquaintance but continued to stare at the handcuffs. To ease her concern, the scruffy-looking man asked Easton to accompany him to the smoker car as he was half dead for a pipe. As the two men got up to go to the smoker car, Miss Fairchild bade Mr. Easton goodbye. All the while, when Miss Fairchild was talking to the two men, two other passengers seated nearby were listening to their conversation. One of them remarked that from his appearance, Mr. Easton appeared to be too young to be a marshal. The other eavesdropping passenger corrected the mistake, saying Mr. Easton was not the marshal, he was the convict, because no marshal would handcuff his own right hand.